Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the PSAI Talk Show, Season 2, Episode 9. So, we are back after a short break after our Professional Speaker Summit, which happened on January 27th and 28th. So, I just want to see the comments from the social media handles. There are audience joining from the Facebook Live, YouTube, LinkedIn. Just share me a hi. Just type in a hi so that I can see all of you over there. A quick hi. I love to see the participation. We are going to learn a wonderful things today. Okay. Thank you, Purva. Thank you, Purva, for that. Chimu, happy evening. Happy evening. So once again, welcome to PSAI Talk Show. And this is a wonderful place to learn, to think, to have a conversation. So before starting, let me introduce myself. My name is Yabeejan, and I'm the host for today talk show. I'm a coach. I'm a speaker, professional speaker, a trainer. So to talk a little about myself, I started off with speaking or interest in speaking, I would rather say like that, after joining Toastmasters in the year 2014. So from public speaking, I want to take my game to the next level as a professional speaker, a paid professional speaker. So I knew that this is not enough. I need mentors. I need a community who could handhold me. And then I came across this wonderful organization called PSAI. Just type in PSAI, the audience over there. Let me see. Hello, Nirja. Hello, Nirja. Hello, Esther. Awesome to see all of you. So to talk about PSAI, it is the Professional Speaker Association of India. For all the new members over here, the PSAI is an association formed to build a strong community to help you enhance your professional speaking career globally. I mean globally. The PSAI is a part of Global Speaker Federation, an organization of 16 national speaking associations of 16 countries, which include USA, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, US, Malaysia, South Africa, Philippines, and more. Are you excited to be part of this wonderful chat show? Excited? Just type in E if you are excited. I would like to see the energy. Wonderful. Thank you, Chimu, for that. So we at PSAI believe that anyone, absolutely anyone who is an expert in their work area or has lived a life with many lessons must share their message to the world. Now, this talk show, PSAI Talk Show, is a firm step in that direction. It is a live event that is packed with values, insight for the wonderful speakers, aspiring speakers, consultants, trainers, coaches, whatnot. You are definitely going to have wonderful learning this evening. Now, I'm sure that most of us, being a speaker, a coach, or a trainer, would like to perform at your peak, at your maximum, at your best. How many of you would like that? Just type in I. Just type in I. Thank you, Purva. Thank you, Nirja. Thank you, Chimu, for that awesome interaction. Thank you, Chimu. I. Definitely. Each and every one of us would like to be at our peak performance. Thank you, Nirja, for that response. Great to see that. But the question to ask ourselves is, how do we know that we are performing at our peak or at our best? Now, do you know how to handle the disruptors of peak performance? the answer would be most of us a big no. But today, we are going to have a wonderful person, a gentleman who is an expert on this topic, the peak performance. Mr. Ganesh Mandadi is a highly sought after motivational speaker and a corporate trainer with over 2 decades of diverse global working experience across the continents. His life journey spanned from a difficult childhood, being a school dropout in grade 8, to a farmer, a highly successful corporate professional, to an entrepreneur, a TEDx speaker, a corporate trainer, and an author of the book Your Life Graduation. He's on a mission to help organizations build their team towards sustainable and inclusive growth through his keynote speeches and transformational workshop on diverse topics, which is centrally themed around true life fulfillment. Ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome our guest for the evening of the talk show. Ladies and gentlemen, please type in a clap clap or show your emotions in the chat by welcoming Mr. Ganesh Mandadi. Just type in a clap clap, just see. Excited. Wow. Thank you so much, Sharad. Thank you. Thank you so much. Welcome, Ganesh. Welcome to the PSAI Talk Show. It's awesome to have you here.
Thank you, Yabeejan, for your energetic, kind, and overwhelming. So I got a wonderful introduction for all your kind words. Thank you.
Thank you, Ganesh. So, how are you? How are you doing?
I'm
I'm
doing
really
great.
excited.
So,
Superb.
doing great.
I could see that in your smile, in your energy. So, let's get started. Are you ready for that? I would like to
Uh,
have a wonderful conversation with you.
Absolutely, Yabeejan. Energy is contagious. The smile and
Yeah.
energy, it's already there with Yabeejan. It's contagious. No one can, hold
Thank
it.
you so much. From you, sir, Ganesh, sir. And to the audience, to the wonderful audience over here, we would like to have your questions. Just type in the chat, in the comment box, and our team, which includes Vinay and Chimu. They would be sharing the questions over here, and our guest would love to answer your questions. So, getting started. So, Ganesh, can I ask you one question? Starting off with this one question, can you please share about your journey into professional speaking training?
Definitely, Abhijan. It's my pleasure to answer all your questions and audience questions. Well, before getting into answering your question, I would like to
Yeah.
greet all the audience who are watching this session lively. And I want to appreciate for everyone who is showing up here because they are giving, it exhibits their commitment towards their life, particularly for peak performance, when they're very serious and it shows it's a testimony. Well, coming back to your question, if I understood right, how my journey began as a professional speaker, right?
That's true.
So,
That's true.
well, honestly, my tenure as a professional speaker and trainer is very short, just close to 18 months. And just after I authored my book, like I got into a full-time professional speaker and trainer. But before that, as a speaker, I got close to 23 years of experience.
Wow.
Not as a professional speaker, but I started my first public speaking in my MBA, like in my first year, in my first semester, and that in the second week, where I failed massively. The reason why I became a public speaker because of that a massive failure way back in 2000, and like in 2000, I was in Chennai then in my MBA. So because of my difficult childhood, I was a school dropout in grade 8, and I directly enrolled to MBA. In between, it was like in a correspondence open university journey where I did. It wasn't like a regular journey. So I had a low inferiority complex, low self-esteem. I had a public speaking fear. Even I had a social anxiety. So public speaking was not even my wildest dream then. But all it happened in my MBA, where there was there was a fire in my belly to perform in my career. I mean, to connect back to academic and professional world. So I initiated myself as a volunteer for delivering a seminar in economics, and that was a dry topic for me then those days. and I failed massively there. I couldn't utter a single word, and I didn't sleep for a couple of days. I was in humiliation, in a guilt. Then again, I approached professor for getting me one more topic. Next time, I performed reasonably well. In my first attempt, everyone made fun of me because, like they don't know about my background. Everyone assumed like I was a regular student. So after my second, kind of public, like second seminar delivery, people realized that I made a fairly very progressive. I was not an awesome speaker then, but I did fairly well in my second attempt. And by then, everyone came to know that I was a correspondence student. I had a huge gap of 8 years in my academic. So I'm an eighth class school dropper to then. Then people felt, I think this is something really good. It is inspiring. Everyone started motivating me. And that is where the seed has been sown in my mind. People started naming me as a nickname, as a motivational speaker and an inspiration, something, and such words. And I decided I want to become a motivational speaker in my post-retirement days, or at least in 50s. But fortunately, I happened to prepone it a decade before. I started in my mid 40s now. So now, last 18 months, as a into my professional speaking, like I've delivered two TED talks, one Joe Talk. I deliver corporate sessions, and I'm also on a mission, philanthropic mission, where I don't charge for colleges, schools, and universities and NGOs, where I create some time and space to deliver them. So my intent is to inspire people, not to impress anyone, but to inspire. And I think every speaker has such niche. The reason why I'm sharing it here, because everyone has their unique kind of USP, or like a unique life purpose and their calling, right? So this is my calling. And the main reason I want to share my, the second reason also for becoming a professional trainer and coach, it is to share my life experience. Because even in my corporate world, like 17 years I was working in different companies, multinational companies across 11 countries. Before I got into entrepreneurship and this pursuits, people used to say my life journey is inspiring, and I think I need to share my life story to people to inspire. This is also second reason which reaffirmed me to get into this speaking and training line.
That's true. Wonderful, wonderful story, Ganesh. Out there, I remember your mission is to inspire or motivate at least 10 million people. And all the best for that. Wonderful
Thank
mission.
you.
And I remember you mentioned in the conversation that you have been a two times TED speaker and a Joe Talk speaker. So, how did you get into this TED Talk as well as Joe Talk, and how has it helped you in your professional speaking?
Definitely, Yabeejan. There are two parts, as you said. How did I get into TEDx and Joe Talks? See, TEDx is a wonderful and amazing platform. It is made for unfolding unique life stories and
That's
great ideas and knowledge.
yeah.
So, fortunately, my school dropout and my struggles were I could say that those are unfortunate those days, pains those days, but that have become a blessings in my life because
Yeah.
of my life story. When I applied for a TEDx, talks, right? It got sailed through back to back in 6 months. I delivered two TED talks, and my kind of my life journey in one TED talk. The other TED talk is about the intent and the subject, like what you want to share with the people. These things made me to stand out and qualify for those TED talks. And the same thing happened with the Joe Talks too. It was all about my life journey. And second thing, what is my mission and vision? These were the centrally themed about around my topic, which I delivered there. And definitely TEDx and Josh platforms are something and amazing platforms where we can connect to millions of people. Second thing,
Yeah.
as a professional speaker and a trainer, it gives us, it enhances our credibility and authority to speak on our
Yeah.
topics. It is as good as getting a master degree or a graduation, though it's not academic university, but I could say it is more than that. It gives it boosts confidence within us, and it establishes credibility and authority, even not only from our mindset, even from audience perspective. Whenever they see a tag TEDx speaker and a Joe Talk speaker, their perception changes. The message, our message, whatever we deliver, it gets a good attention and people get inspired. And it applies to every professional speaker. I think you can plan it out, and everyone has your unique stories, your life struggles. Some might be depriving in, kind of emotionally, some might be depriving in like in a lifestyle for a basic essential, or in whichever relationship, or in whichever format, but everyone has a unique life story to unfold. I think these are the wonderful platforms every speaker should aim.
Very true, Ganesh. Like you shared, it definitely TED Talk as well as the Joe's Talk, it definitely build on your authority, your visibility, your credibility. So
Correct.
thank you so much for sharing that. And one follow-up question. And now your specialized or your niche topic would be peak performance. So what are your thoughts on peak performance and how is it important to the professionals? And how did you get into this one topic? How did you find that?
Yeah, Yabeejan, I love this question because this question and the topic is closely connected to my heart. Basically, my talks, entire talks, are centrally themed around life fulfillment and sustainability. Even
That's
when
true.
it comes to peak performance, this is one of my top selling, I could say top selling, most sort of topic wherever I go for corporate trainings, even for students as well, how to perform well in their exams and overall academic and also in corporate professionals. Being a corporate professional, I got like close to 2 decades of experience. So I have experience in my life journey and my life learnings. So basically, in first place, the fundamental peak performance is like most people, even I used to be living in that illusions. Peak performance is neither a direct goal nor a single destination. Most of us
Okay.
we assume it. Like a success is not a destination, right? It's a journey. Even peak
Journey. Yeah.
performance, right? It should
Yes.
sustain. It
Yes.
shouldn't be like a spike, stock market spike, and it's falling, right? It has to
Mhm.
sustain.
That's
Then
true.
you will have a true life fulfillment, and it gives joy and happiness, sustainable happiness. Otherwise, whenever your performance drops, right, it leads to all like kind of stress, anxiety. Some people get into depressed state. So peak performance is not a direct goal or a single destination. So this itself makes that we should not chase peak performance. Rather, we should work on the roots, on the foundation of how to unleash your peak performance. So wherever I deliver, right, I categorize into three areas. Three areas. The first
Okay.
thing is we should have our clear purpose, our clear why.
Okay.
If you don't have that right, it doesn't matter whatever incentive you get, whatever amount you are paid on your professional world, or whatever external kind of pursue like kind of lucrative offers or any pushing, it doesn't sustain. We should have a clear why and inner calling and inner purpose. Whatever you do, whether you are an employee, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a student, whichever profession you are into, but we should have very clear purpose and why. This is the first thing and the fundamental thing.
Yeah.
Second thing, when you have that right, you are self-motivated. You are inspired by your own self. The other
Okay.
things will get easier.
Yeah.
Second thing, for performing a peak and to sustain our peak performance. Second hack, I could say biohacks. Now, when I call biohacks, biological hacks, everyone
Okay.
has a strong intent. I have a good vision, but my body is not supporting. My health is not supporting. Okay. So biohacks are really important. So how we conquer those biohacks, how we apply. Basically, again, I classify those biohacks into five major things. One is about having a healthy, balanced nutritional diet.
Wow.
So
Wow.
diet is really important,
Very
particularly
important.
like all types of balanced diet. Those are working on very creatively on the IT side or a professional speaker. They give a lot of load for our brain. Even science says our brain is less than 2% or 5% of body weight, but it consumes 20% of our energy. It requires
That's
a good diet and nutrition, balanced diet. So entire body has to be nourished with a balanced diet. This is the first thing. Second thing, we should be staying hydrated, and we
oh
should have a quality sleep, enough sleep.
yeah.
I'm talking about biohacks. Fourth one, we should also have like physically, physical activity need to be there. We need to stay physically active. All these things might look, also quality and conscious breathing. Most of the people we undermine because these are priceless things. No one pays cost for these things until
Yeah.
unless they hit the roadblock, end of the roadblock, and when they create enough damage and realizing lately, by that time it will become too expensive. You know how corporate bills are there nowadays. That is an
Very.
extreme. Forget about the corporate bills. We will be missing our valuable time. Whatever productivity we are achieving here without biohacks, if you take care
Okay.
about your biohacks, it shoots up substantially, and you'll also feel more energized, and you can create your time and space for multiple other things. This is one thing. And the third one is about mental hacks too. Mental
Wow.
hacks, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter how good you are physically, but you are mentally, if you're not maintaining your mental health, right? So particularly like positive self-talk, self affirmations, these are really important, because we are not living in a perfect world, right? Every day we are subject and prone to multiple
Yeah.
surprises, adversities, and toxic exposure in society, in our peer group, or in our workplace, or wherever we go, right? we experience
Yeah.
all different type of toxic relationships and exposures. So we need to sail out, and we need to maneuver from that. Further, mental acts are really important, like doing mindfulness, like doing meditation or
Yeah.
yoga or
Yeah.
self-talk, all these things.
Mhm.
So I would say, in a nutshell, all these three areas, if you ensure biohacks, mental hacks, and you have a clear why and purpose, I think nothing
Mhm.
can stop you. We can unleash and we can perform or peak not only once. If you ensure the consistency in other things, these three things, right, our performance also will keep in the same, healthy
Lo-
state.
Thank you. Thank you. A lot of wisdom over there. A clear why. The second one would be the biohacks, and the third is the mental hacks. So I would like to ask. I would focus more on the mental part, mental hacks part. So we all have this limiting belief. We all have this mental barrier. How important it is to overcome this for the peak performance?
Yeah. Again, it's a wonderful question, Yabeejan. Again, it's very close to my heart again. So, limiting beliefs, right? The name itself sounds limiting beliefs.
Mhm.
Those are
Yeah.
limiting our joy. Those are limiting our
Yeah.
success. Those are limiting our happiness. Those are
Mhm.
limiting our fulfillment, life fulfillment. The name
Yeah,
itself indicates. By
that's
the
true.
way, these limiting beliefs are not made overnight, and we don't have a
Mhm.
direct control over it, because everyone, right from their childhood days, right from the infant years to current date, we are all subject to our upbringing, exposure to society, economy, and external world. So we invariably we develop our beliefs, right? So our belief systems, our belief system is being formed over a period. Like whatever we hear, we start believing it. Whatever we see, right, we start believing it. Even if you see the partly portion, we start believing it. Now the
Yeah.
question comes here: what is limiting belief and what is empowering belief?
Mm.
Differentiating those two things are really critical here. We should not
That's true.
stigmatize, I'm living with a limiting beliefs.
Mhm.
Might be there might be some amazing empowering beliefs within us,
Okay.
but if you don't know them, we don't exercise them, we don't execute those kind of traits. First
Mm.
thing, we need to have a self awareness: what are my limiting beliefs and what are my empowering beliefs? If you
Okay.
identify your empowering beliefs, I could say empowering belief is nothing that which is not hindering your growth, which is not adding to your stress, which is not adding to your anxiety. Of course, even if you are putting in more efforts but you're still enjoying, that is not your limiting belief. It's an
Yeah.
empowering belief. So, keeping identifying empowering beliefs, you need to retain them. Once you identify limiting beliefs, right? I think it's really important. Until unless you shed them away, you replace those limiting beliefs with empowering beliefs, we
Yeah.
can never grow in our life. We can never be successful, or kind of a peaceful, or we can't lead a fulfilling life. Now, there are a lot of ways, tools, and techniques we can't cover in this session now, right?
That's
This
true.
itself will take a day, a full day session for me or
Mm.
for any expert to cover.
Oh.
So there are a lot of ways. I think they can. We are really blessed. We are living in an information age, a digital age. There are a lot of free tools available on internet, right? Wherever you go on YouTube, huge content, tons of content. Consume some credible, authentic content on how to rewire your mind, how to shed your limiting beliefs. I think this is in the modern science, right? Modern science, this cognitive science particularly, says the epigenetic says we can rewire our mindset by erasing our limiting beliefs, and we can rebuild our brand new mindset, an empowering
Oh.
mindset with the
Okay.
cognitive processes called neuroplasticity. I think the
Neuroplastic.
audience
Yeah.
can Google it out, and there's a
Yeah.
huge content on it. I think this is really required. I think for not only for your unleashing your professional performance, but also to lead a successful and a fulfilling life.
Thank you, Ganesh. I would put it in just one sentence that replace your limiting belief with your empowering belief. Yeah,
Exactly.
wonderful there. Before moving on, I would like to acknowledge our wonderful guests, our audience over here, Mr. Kiruba Shankar. Thank you so much for sharing those points which are discussed over here. Thank you, Nirja and Jivita. Thank you so much for your active participation. And I hope you guys are learning lots from our wonderful guest over here, Mr. Ganesh. And one question: we are all professional speaker, professional trainer, coach. At times, we burn out or we lack motivation. So, is there any advice from your part to keep up the motivation, or when it comes to the burning out, How do we handle that?
Definitely, Yabeejan. First thing first, right? First of all, we need to acknowledge the reality. The hard reality is that we are human beings. We are not machines or
Okay.
robots. We cannot
Yeah.
work on a very constant way, right? We have our
Yeah.
mood swings, our emotions, we have an ups and downs. So we
Yes.
often burn out. That's common. We need to accept this is not something like unnatural, or this is a quite natural part of our human life, and it's part of human evolution. At times burnout really makes us to lead to a next level. Whenever we have a burnout, right, there are a lot of lessons and triggers where we have a scope to rework and again bounce back in an accelerated form. So this is a good thing actually. We should not stigmatize burnout, but definitely burnout once in a while is okay. But burnout consistently throughout the week, throughout the month and year, this is not good. This is not taking you
Okay.
anywhere. Your
Okay.
performance will will take a hit actually. So it also spoils your emotional health, mental health. Forget about professional. The very existence of our survival on this earth will get into a question. So we need to identify once in a while if there's a burnout, it's an exceptional case, and that burnout is really a meaningful. If you are really making it for the good cause, a better cause, and again you are able to again switch back to your normal mode, that is not a concern. You need to keep going it, which is part of our life. But if you have a consistent burnout, definitely this
Okay.
is a serious concern. We need to stop. We should get into a self-reflection mode. We need to have a self-awareness. What are the root causes for this
Okay.
burnout? There could be two reasons. Two reasons. One might be we have a over ambitious, something we are
Okay.
trying to achieve which is not feasible for any human potential. If you take an
Okay.
average performance of any good human being, if you are having high expectations, high targets, high goals, we are naturally prone for burnout. If you're not
Definitely.
falling into that, if you're falling into that, set realistic expectation. Naturally, it is taken care. But if you're not falling into that, we are capable of doing average performance, but we are even not able to do that average performance. Still, we are getting into burnout. This is a
Yeah.
serious concern. Then you need to get into deep self-reflection. We need to work
Okay.
on those three things again. First thing,
Okay.
on our we need to have a clear
Clarity.
awareness. What is your
Right.
purpose? Don't get distracted into multiple things. Identify your priority things, how much you can do, and what you need to do. The priorities, your why and purpose. And more importantly, I could attribute it to work-life balance. And other thing is
Okay.
about biohacks. They're not
Hmm.
applying the biohacks. It is like a
Okay.
lifetime journey. We need to keep doing this for our entire life. Biohacks and mental hacks, if things can really bail out. They are like a paracetamol, it applies for all pains. Like
Yeah.
biohacks, right? They're really
Very
like
true.
a super,
Very true.
common cure, I could say. And we
Both
should come
go hand in.
from the burnout. Yep.
Definitely, definitely. So the two things. One is if you are over ambitious, go for a self reflection, and just make sure that your why is
Realistic
clear.
expectation. Yep.
Sorry, Ganesh, I didn't
We
get
need to
you.
set realistic. We are over ambitious. Nothing
Realistic.
wrong with
Yeah.
over ambitious, but
Yeah.
set an incremental. Of course, we need to attain here, but don't aim directly from here. A big jump.
Okay.
Set
Okay.
an incremental, kind of gems,
Okay.
and start with a realistic one, and slowly, incrementally, you reach there. A lot of nowadays people are looking for a short-term gratifications or a quick win and quick success. That is causing for a biggest burnout, and other things, laziness, procrastination, other things also, which falls under the
Okay. Just what I wanted, a follow-up question on that. The one disruptor would be procrastination, and most of us suffer hardcore procrastination. So, how does it tamper with this your performance to be at your best? How to handle this procrastination part?
Yeah. So again, we are human beings. Procrastination happens. Even the best player, Elon Musk, or you can take the
Yeah,
richest person or the strongest athletes, do have a procrastination. But there is one difference between an average person and them. There's an 80-20
okay,
rule, right? There are
yeah,
20%. I think we
yeah.
call it a Pareto's law, right? 80-20.
Pareto principle,
Whatever
yeah.
has a high impact things, right? Never do procrastination there. If
Uh-huh.
there's low impact things,
Okay,
procrastination doesn't impact on your finances, on your relationships, on your performance. But
right.
people, we cannot be 100% perfect. We are not living in a perfect world. We need to have some cushion and kind of a luxury to postpone and to catch up. But such procrastination should not end up depriving you financially or emotionally or professionally. So the 80-20 rule, identify what are your priorities,
Okay,
ensure you never miss out on your priorities, the 20% which yields you the highest impact and highest results.
yeah.
And the low impacted things, of course, you have a flexibility. But people that mess up all these things, they work on this 80% and they ignore the priority 20%, and this
Yeah.
results into all.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Working on that 80%, and later on we get to burnout, like you shared earlier. We burnout. So we have spoken about the mental attributes for some time. I would like to ask a question regarding the physical aspect. The We all know that our body is important. As a professional speaker or a professional, what is your recommendation regarding your physical fitness, the nutrients you should have, the diet, the sleep? Can you share some points about it?
Definitely, Abhijat. In the first place, staying physically fit, active is essential for every human being,
Okay.
right from infant to the elderly person. But coming to professional speakers, it is super important. I could say super important. The reason being, we are giving more work to our brain. Even
Yeah.
though it has the smallest portion in our body where it consumes high calories, we need to stay focused, creative, right? So we should never ignore our mental health and our physical health.
Okay.
I'll take my example, right? So normally, when I deliver any, keynote sessions, normally I
Mhm.
deliver at 90, 60 to 90 minutes. And in 90
Okay.
minute session, I don't even
Mhm.
take a break in between. Even I
Wow.
engage audience. Now
Okay.
here, for audience, it's a different case. But for a speaker, like professional speaker, like Yabeejan, me, or whoever, any professional speaker, the
Yeah.
thing is, they need to engage the brain for continuously, and they are working on a peak. Like they are giving, it works on a peak load basically.
Yeah.
The processing, everything works on a peak when they are on stage. Second thing, they're not sitting, right? They're standing on a stage, and 90 minutes they are just walking around. It is as good as a brisk walking.
Yeah.
So, two things: they should be fit enough. They should have a stamina and fitness to cope
That's true.
up 90 minutes to be on stage. It's not just being on stage for 90 minutes and remaining there resting on your bed and getting again 2 days rest. That is not the way, that is not what we are expecting it. So at times there are some speakers who deliver full day with short breaks.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. I see.
so professional speakers are as good as athletes because their presence, right? Even 2020 matches ends in 1 hour or like whatever it is. But we have full day sessions like test matches too. I think we need to stay super fit with
Okay.
all biohacks and mental hacks, obviously balanced nutritional diet, and also like
Mhm.
we give a lot of straight to our vocal cord too, right? Normally,
Mhm.
sometimes we get immersed in our talks. We don't even take a
Yeah,
sip of water. It happened many times with me. Most
very
of the
true.
times when I ask the feedback about the session, they say your session is too energetic, but we are only
Mhm.
worried you didn't had a sip of water. Have you
Oh,
managed? Please take care of your throat. I think you should have some break
okay.
or kind of sip of water. This is what I get
The
sometimes.
audience is watching. The audience is watching us. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. For professional speakers, it is super important, never ignore. And it is
Mhm.
also important for our existence on this planet to lead a decade or 2 decades longevity. It adds to our longevity too, right? So we can stay
Okay,
healthy, and we can also deliver, we can unleash our peak performance. It's non negotiable, I could say.
that's true. Ganesh, we have a wonderful crowd of speakers, coaches, and trainers over here joining us in this live PSAI talk show. And I would like to ask a question regarding getting onto the stage. So, before you get onto the stage, is there any routine you practice before you get to the stage to get your best onto the stage?
Yeah. So, yeah, there are two things, Abhijat. Before getting onto stage checklist, I'm not getting into a routine, a monotonous checklist of
Mhm.
technical and other
Mhm.
things. I'm like, to unleash your peak and to deliver your best, what is
Yeah.
that required? I could say three things. Number
Mhm.
one, we should have a purpose. We should know the purpose of being on that particular stage. See, when I'm at TED Talk, right, I know what is my purpose to deliver there. When I get onto a keynote session, that's a different purpose. That's a different game. So I should know the purpose. What is the purpose I'm going to address on the particular event or a stage? The more you are aware, the better you can impact to that
Oh,
session. So we
yeah.
should have a clear clarity on the purpose, why we are delivering there, what is the main
Okay.
topic context. And second thing is, if you know that well, right, we can connect to the audience well. See, everyone has a wonderful content nowadays. Even our audience are more smarter than speakers. I'm sorry,
Definitely.
at times
Yeah.
they're more smarter. However, they cannot connect. They have a general information. They have an
Mhm.
idea, basic idea, generalization. They are very specialized in, because they know everything. We are living in information age. But as a
Yeah.
professional speaker, we are an expert in a specific domain. So to
Mm.
differentiate that, we should have a clear clarity of what we are going to address there. And if you can prepare about that, if you are like well aware of that points to connect to that particular problem and audience, that creates an
Okay.
high impactful session. We can connect
Mm.
well emotionally, we can resonate
Okay.
well, and we can deliver a high impactful session. And of course preparation and practice, of course, for well established speakers, it doesn't take much time to prepare and practice. But even if for a person like a Tony Robbins over a 4 decades
Yeah.
of experience,
Yeah.
he doesn't require any practice or mirroring and other things, but he
Definitely.
definitely invests time on the first part, knowing their purpose, what to address at that event or for that platform, and what are the hooks to connect to that audience. These are really important.
Great insights over there. I understand that you are more into and you do a lot of motivational speaking. Like you shared earlier, you do 60 to 90 minutes or maybe above that. How do you make sure that your energy is at its peak, or you make sure that you maintain that energy throughout till the end?
Yeah, definitely, Yabeejan. The first thing I could say, the biggest secret I could attribute personally, I feel by myself, is I love speaking. I really love speaking from my heart. So I have a very obsessive passion that keeps them, even if at times, if I'm not feeling well, I'm a cold, light cold, or a kind of any kind of other things, right? That
Okay.
becomes a minor. So my passion, supersedes it. So I have a, I think, anyone like, all the speakers, right? We should love doing what we do. So that keeps us, motivated there.
Yeah.
Second thing, right? I mean, keeping there again the physical fitness, what we say, right? The physical
Yeah.
fitness. And
Yes.
fortunately, I've been working on my health from last 15 years. So I
Mm.
shed 25 kgs now. In
Oh.
2009, I was plus 25 to whatever my weight. It is not a
Okay.
fancy desire for me to shed my weight. It was a
Mhm.
compulsive state. I was
Okay.
tested with high lipid profiles, which is again, inheritance legacy. With
Yes.
inheritance, right? We get jai jai banglas, cars, sab
That's true.
milega.
That's
Again,
true.
we also get
We are
some
all in queue. We are all in queue.
yeah, we also get genetical blessings. So we should
Yeah.
accept and embrace this is a reality. But again, with a
Mhm.
lifestyle, we can reverse it. Now I
Mhm.
reverse all those things, high lipid profiles, I contain it,
Wow.
and I'm maintaining my good, health and posture. So staying
Wow.
physically fit and also
Mhm.
loving what you do, and preparation, obviously, well preparation. These three things will keep us energetic throughout our session.
Throughout.
Even if you
Yeah.
are underprepared, if you are underprepared, our confidence
Mhm.
will go down. We cannot show up, we
Yeah.
cannot fake, right?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So we can deliver wonderfully with high impact and with high energy only when we prepare well, when we have a passion, and when we are authentic. If you're not authentic,
Mm.
right,
Yeah.
maybe
That's
our
a good
words
one.
might get faked out, but our emotion will not fake. So
That's
audience can catch. The emotion speaks louder than your words. It drives better than your motivation and yields higher contentment than any wealth. So our emotion speaks a lot. So I think we need to be authentic. And for being authentic, we should do our groundwork well, because we are getting onto a stage. We are there for a noble cause to impact and inspire some lives. We are touching some lives. So we have a bigger responsibility. And I think every speaker has that. It's not about me pointing out them, but this is what I believe in, I personally, and I'm executing it.
That's true. Ganesh, a quick question. What is your secret to the physical fitness? Your secret.
Yeah,
What do you
first
follow?
thing,
Do
right, it
you?
was like a do or die situation for me. So
Uh-huh.
I could attribute my strength and weakness both are my legacy, my inheritance, I could say.
Uh-huh.
So my grandfather lived 90s, big 90s. He just missed
Oh,
century.
wonderful.
And even my father is also like kind of very healthy. But
Mm.
however, we all are blessed with high lipids. So my strength and
Mm.
my weakness both. So my fitness is I like my secret is I stick to a healthy lifestyle. So I have a
Okay.
cheat day once in a while. So
Okay.
I eat whatever I want. But overall, like 5 to 6 days, I'm on a healthy diet and a healthy lifestyle. I do
Okay.
home workouts. I didn't even go for gym regularly, but I do home
Uh,
workout. So it got
okay.
like subconsciously it got part of it. It has instilled an habit, like even
That's
wherever I am, right? Sometimes if I don't get time, even outside also, I do this routine. Even when I'm traveling or even when wherever outside I am. So I ensure I engage those things, say it is diet or say it is a physical activity. So that keeps, and everyone has their unique way of dealing. It's not
yeah.
necessary to imitate or to copy or to benchmark anyone, but everyone can unfold their own way of like getting fit and energetic. Some people are very creative, they are very good at dance, they love dancing. That makes
Yeah,
them a good
dance.
kind of an athlete. So if you
Mm,
are very obsessed about dance, right, so you become an athlete, physically as well. So we can achieve in a different means, and we can also integrate. A lot of times, right, we don't get time to perform everything. So
mm,
some people, they don't get time for getting into hitting for a gym or walk or whatever it is, but they
okay.
have a passion of dance, right? They can enroll to a dance class. They
Mm.
can get two results out of one effort. At the same time, they get a physical fitness, and also they can fulfill their kind of a passion. So we can integrate a lot of things like this, and we can have a social gatherings where we have physical activity, for other things.
Yeah, it definitely depends on person to person. Maybe we can go for jogging, maybe yoga, maybe going to the gym, taking care of your diet. Thank you so much, Ganesh, for that. And I remember reading in your intro that you are an author of the best-selling book, Your Life Graduation. So, how did that happen?
Yeah. So I could say, like 15 years back, I like when people started calling me a motivator and inspiration, and my life is something inspiring. There was a seed sown in my mind. I need to express everything into a book so that it can reach many people and it will remain for accessible to all other people. So
Okay.
I was thinking on that. I was sleeping over it for many years, 15 years.
Mm,
Thanks to lockdown, COVID days, the positive sides, right? When we entire family got tested positive in the first wave itself, when there was a high stigma about COVID-19. So I went to the deep dive self-reflection and I made it happen. I invested 6 months quality time to deliver this book. I could call this is my baby, my
oh,
third child. I
oh,
was
wow.
daughter and son. I treat my book as my third kid because I put my
Mm,
heart and soul into it. And
mm,
this is all about life graduation. So we speak about academic graduation, right? We pass in our academic and professional graduation also. But
yeah.
life graduation is all about leading a life with a fulfilling, with a fulfillment and contentment, with
Okay.
sustainable happiness and and sustainable success too.
Mm,
Otherwise, our life will not get fulfilled. Whether you are depriving of success or finances or relationships or social life, in whichever walk of your life, if anything falls right short, it impacts all other areas. If your relationships not good, it impacts your profession, your finances. If your social life is not good, it impacts the other areas too. So everything is
okay.
interconnected. Life graduation is all about attaining mastery in the 10 life fulfillment empires. I could say
Mm,
there are the 10 mandatory subjects everyone has to qualify their own university. Like Ganesh Mandadi's university, I need to qualify in life.
mm.
Yabeejan's university, you need to qualify. And I think who else, like, Kiruba in his own
Yeah,
university, you
we
need to
have
qualify.
Kiruba, we have
Everyone need to
Nirja,
qualify in your
Subramanian.
own life.
Thank you, Ganesh. The wonderful audience over here. Thank you, active for your active participation, Subramanian, Nirja, Kiruba, Dr. Alka, and I just want to remind: are you learning? Just a question to the audience: are you all learning? If you are learning, just type L. Just type L in the comment box so that we get to know that you're learning a lot. You are able to think based on that. And at the same time, to the audience, if you're having any other question, we have this wonderful guest over here, Mr. Ganesh, and he would love to share with you his thoughts on your question. So please don't forget on the question. If you have a question, please leave it in the comment, and our team would take care of that. And one question: how do you maintain a balance between your personal as well as your professional life? I understand that there's a lot of traveling happening, a lot of long hours of work. So, how do you balance between your personal and your professional life?
Definitely, Abhijan. To say in precise, I believe work is worship, family is a
Mm.
temple. Both
Oh,
cannot be separated.
wow.
So they get along with. Second thing, right? When we are at work, we need to be 100% at work. We should not carry anything there. So we need to give 100% focus there. When we are with family, right, we need to be 100% with family. That really makes our life easier. We can unleash our performance, peak performance, and we are also justifying. For example, if you are very productive at your workplace, when you are at home, you are at peace, right? Obviously, you are
Yeah.
at peace, and you can give more quality time to your family. And when you give a quality time at home, they are there to support at the tough times at your workplace. Otherwise, we are not at the good terms with our personal time and with the family time. Even at
That's true.
difficult times, we lose our
That's true.
trust, our faith, our credibility, authenticity, whatever you call. Of course, our intent is amazing, our intent is noble, but for family members, for them, family is first. I also say that family is like, family precedes when it comes to our profession, because we all are products of our family roots. Because
Very true.
we fruits, right, we are the fruits of our family tree, because they nurtured us right from, from infant age until
Yeah.
they delivered a very sellable product to professional world. Professional world employs us after multiple quality checks passed in an institute called family. So I think we
Very
cannot
true.
ignore family, and at the same time both are really important. Work is worship and family is a temple. And in simple, be 100% there, justify there. There are some exceptions. Sometimes we get delayed at work, but if you are maintaining a healthy family life, once in a while it is okay. I mean, you get more encouragement even from family, and we can connect from home once in a while as an exception, but not as a routine. So I think this is something like very easy to say, but very difficult to practice. But I think we need to instill. Of course, it happens. It happens with everyone. At times, it is very difficult. Anything meaningful things, right? It is easy to speak, but difficult to practice. But we need to remember, whichever things are difficult, harder things always gets you a better results, a better fulfillment, or a bigger results.
Definitely. We have love from Santosh. Thank you, Santosh Akela. Thank you for your response, for your participation. And we are getting close to our end time. I would like to ask a final question, and then if there is questions from the audience, we'll take up that, and finally a rapid question. And this one question is: a lot of speakers, trainers, and coaches wants to perform at their peak. So, what would be your message, your final message for them?
Yeah. So, Yabeejan, whatever we spoke till now, right? Everything, right? Everything is a kind of
Yeah,
the roots. So we need to work on those roots. So
yeah.
fruit will be a kind of an end result. Your fruit is a byproduct. So
Okay.
there is not a single shortcut or direct kind of a quick technique or kind of a cheat sheet, whatever it is for getting. Again, I'm just attributing to the previous question, right? So if you have a very clear why, if you have a clear cut purpose and passion, and supported with your kind of family support, giving
Yeah,
quality time, and with the biohacks and mental hacks all
mental
together
acts.
integrated, I could say peak performance is a byproduct of multiple goals in our life. I
Oh,
could say
yes.
the multiple goals, whatever we spoke, all the questions, whatever you asked, right? They are really sensible and they are really amazing questions. I could say. I think I need to note down those questions for my reference. They're really amazing questions because they are the nuts and bolts for your peak performance. And your peak
Very,
performance is a byproduct
very
and
true.
end product, I could say.
Thank you. Thank you, Ganesh. Wonderful talking to you. In fact, I've learned a lot, or it's a reminder for me to which I have known. So, thank you so much for your share. And a request to the audience: if you have any questions, please leave it in the comment box so that our team could take up that. And we have the guest over here who is an expert in peak performance, and we would love to get the answer of that. So, any questions, please type in the comment. We'll just wait for just a couple of seconds. I hope everyone is learning something. If you are learning, just type in L. Just type in L or yes, or a plain yes would be fine. I just saw Ganesh hydrating himself, and he's taking care through that biohack. Thank you.
I
Great
believe
learning.
in
Thank
walking
you.
the talk. Yabeejan, I believe in walking the talk. Also, I want to share one thing. I follow a simple three-step philosophy. Number
Ah,
one,
wow.
first, I will
Okay.
learn the path. Number one.
Uh-huh.
Number two, I'll walk the path. And
Hmm.
number three, I'll show the path, which is,
Wow.
in a way, it is about walking that talk. It is not
Mm-hmm.
about talking the talk. So it builds our credibility and authority too. And as a speakers, I think we all do that. We need to be a kind of a role models for walking the talk to an extent. I mean, to whatever extent possible. Otherwise, we don't deserve. When we speak, when we deliver, right, it doesn't show that authenticity as well. Thanks for the catch,
Definitely.
Yabeejan. I didn't realize, while sipping, I think you caught me on the right foot. I could say it's a right foot.
Thank you. You are showing as an example. Thank you for that. And we have wonderful participants. Thank you, Farhana and Harishta, Santosh, Suman. Love you guys. Thank you for that excitement and sharing your feedback in the comments. And I think our audience is pretty much clear on the topic because we have discussed a lot and they are learning a lot. And I think since we are getting to the fag end of our event, we are getting to an exciting segment, which is the rapid fire. Are you
Yeah,
ready, Ganesh? Yeah,
definitely, Yabeejan. It's my pleasure.
definitely.
I'm more excited
Should
for
it?
this.
Huh? Should it?
I'm more
So,
excited. Yes.
so the first question would be, what are the two topics you speak on?
Yeah. Life fulfillment and emotional mastery. These are too close to my heart.
Wonderful, wonderful. What is the first thing that you do when you get up in the morning?
I express attitude of gratitude for the
Wow,
superpower.
wow.
So that is where I start because the more we are grateful and we express
Yeah.
gratitude, the more we receive from the nature and from the higher source.
So this is a tricky question. If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
Yabijan, I think I lost your audio in between. Can you repeat it?
Definitely. Would love to. If you were a superhero, what
Hmm.
would your superpower be?
So, like a Superman, Batman, Iron Man, right? If I have a superpower, right,
Okay.
I give my best to to bless and to support everyone to lead a fulfilling life with sustainable happiness and fulfillment.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Because life
If you
fulfillment is something, yeah, I'm sorry, life fulfillment is
not a
something
problem.
which is the least ignored, but we realize it too late in our late, I could say, these are the regrets of, dying people. We regret on deathbed. I think that is too late for us because life is too short, it melts, right? I think everyone, right from teenage years, they should focus on fulfillment because success without fulfillment is an ultimate failure. We all are very obsessively pursuing multiple things which are not in
Yeah.
line with our, kind of life thing. So fulfillment
Very
is one thing which I would like to address to the most if I get a superpower. I wish God I get more strength to address on this issue.
yeah, yeah. May Lord give you that fulfillment and superpower. And if you could change one thing about the world, what would it be? One thing that you could change about this world, what would that be?
I could say it is about caring. I mean, like caring
Ah,
is more important. Empathy, like we I think this is a very much natural instinct, basic instinct of human evolution. But
the
we
love
are
of God.
living in a digital age, distracted
Yeah.
age, and we are getting overwhelmed. And we forgot about caring our own self, caring about our nature, caring about our society, and fellow human beings. This is the one thing I would emphasize on caring.
So Ganesh, did you
So
have
that
your
is very.
dinner? Did you have your dinner?
No, no, not yet. Normally,
No,
I
not
used to
as.
take around 8:30, close to around
Ah,
8:30. So
wonderful.
these are not my
So,
norms. These are not my norms. Actually, like like I'm a student. I mean, like I'm a student in my home. So I
okay.
follow the institution of home, like spending with the family, kids, and the dinner times and
Mhm.
these things.
So, a question with that. If you could have a dinner with anyone, living or dead, who would that be?
I could say with my own soul.
Ah, that's cool.
Because I need to
Okay.
connect the more with me, with
Uh,
myself, so that I can
uh,
connect with everyone. If I'm not
mhm.
connecting with myself to the core,
Yeah,
I can't connect with
very
anyone
true.
else.
That's where we get that clarity.
So,
So, one book which you are reading right now, currently, one book.
I think I'm reading with author Sherry's book actually on the public
Ah,
speaking, which I
wow,
got it
wow.
from
Even
author
I
Sherry.
have that. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think even I just placed it here. Yeah, of course.
yeah.
It's all about walking the talk. It's right in
Yeah,
my showroom.
definitely, definitely. Wonderful, wonderful. The wonderful person we have met, even Farhana, we have met at the PSS. Wonderful place. We have met wonderful people. Thank you. So that's a book. What's your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
So I want to unwind my childhood days basically. Like my childhood days were most of difficult and I miss a lot of things. So I need to unwind.
Mhm.
So that's the reason I'm trying to reconnect with my childhood friends. So whenever we
Okay,
reconnect with our childhood friends, right? So we
definitely.
pass by into a memory lane of like 20 years, 30 years. Now I'm 45. So
Very true.
every month I'm trying to connect with one of my childhood friends, my schoolmates, and like childhood friends. So I want to
So,
unwind my childhood days, and it is also good for multiple forms. Basically, I think we shed our egos apart. We get more,
yeah.
we stay more blissful, and it gives more dopamine and oxytocin, whatever we call neurotransmitters.
So I'm sad to say that this is one final question from the rapid round. As we are all a professional speaker, we would be having a role model, a speaker. So who, as a speaker, you are following professionally? If you
So my
wouldn't mind
yeah,
to
my
share.
role model from last 12 years is Sandeep Maheshwari. So
Wow.
right from
Yeah.
20, I think 2012, 2013 onwards,
Mhm.
Sandeep Maheshwari. He was
Sandeep
a kind of
Mahesh.
a noble person with a big intent and a very
Yes.
compassionate and
Yes.
generous. He is my role model.
Yes, definitely.
But he
And for,
delivers a lot of content in Hindi. So I
yeah.
follow him religiously. Like even I don't miss even a single video most
Very
often.
true. Very true. Even I'm a follower and I'm a hardcore fan of Sandeep Maheshwari. So thank you so much, Ganesh. I understand that we are at the end of our time, and we had a wonderful conversation with you. I had a wonderful conversation with you. I learned a lot, and based on that, I have to think, bring clarity to my purpose, bring clarity to my speaking, and moreover, I just have to take care of my biohacks and mental hacks. So thank you so much, Ganesh, for being part of PSAI Talk Show. I'm sure that the audience over here also has enjoyed a lot. And
Yeah.
just one final word, Ganesh.
Yeah,
What
our
would you
final
tell?
word, Yabeejan. I want to express my attitude of gratitude for this
Thank
wonderful
you.
privilege and for
Thank you.
you and for the entire team behind and for
Yeah.
PSAI. And second thing, right, I think it's not one word, I'm making it two sentences. Second
Mm.
thing, even I learned a lot from Yabeejan
Yeah.
in this conversation. So I believe in every conversation with human to human, right? There's a two-way learning. Most
Yeah.
often we undermine it.
Definitely.
It's not a one way. The questions, the
Definitely.
profound questions, what you raised,
Mm.
but these triggered a lot of kind of uh, it's like a kind of, I could say, icebreakers in my mind to some of them. So it's a good learning for me too, and it's, I think even audience could have made, I think they have definitely, I don't have a direct interaction with them. I hope they too had a wonderful learning, and I will always love to interact on whichever format. Thank you once again, Yabeejan and PSI
Thank you.
and audience too, wonderful audience. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you,
a
Ganesh,
nice
and
day.
all the best for your speaking profession and your life. All the best. Thank you for being part of this program. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great evening to all. Thanks.
Awesome, awesome meeting you, Ganesh.
Thanks.
Thank you. So that's Mr. Ganesh Mandadi, an expert of peak performance. What a conversation. I hope everyone, I see the comments from our audience. Farhana has shared great learnings. Harishta has responded. Thank you so much for joining and being part of the PSAI talk show. And before just winding up, I'll just share a couple of statements which the expert, Mr. Ganesh Mandadi, shared regarding peak performance. If you need to have a peak performance, you have to take care of three things. The first one is have a clear why. Have a clear why. The next one is biohack. We should definitely take care of our body, our exercising, the sleep, hydrating ourselves. So this is the second one. The third one is the mental hacks. We spoke a lot about the limiting belief. So through mental hacks, what the expert had shared is that replace your limiting belief with your empowering belief. Wow, what a statement was that. And to perform at your peak performance, I wish all, I understand that we have wonderful audience from the speaker community, from the coaches, trainers, consultant. I wish you the best. And I wish and I think that you have learned a lot from this talk show. I wish you the best for all your professional commitments and professional assignments. This is Yabeejan signing off for PSAI Talk Show. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a great dinner.